Good evening, welcome to the Guide News Online at 6. My name is Adelaide, and in the headlines, Kufuor Sam Jonah saved me from going blind. How Nata? I insist Mahama is the papano. Ekuyadonko reacts to 1 Ghana million CD suits. Ahoy predicting the defeat of NDC in 2020 and seeking to damage me. Rollins. Positive coronavirus persons to wear tracking device. Government to bear costs. Eslawusu. See me as the honest, trusted president that I am. Akufo-Addo. Sir John's final funeral rite set for October 29th. Today in history, sycophants have hijacked President Akufo-Addo, Kennedy Japan. DNC 2020. Biden vows to end Trump's season of darkness. How former Cowbank MD became the 5th largest shareholder of bank. Yams and plantains were accepted as gate fee for concerts. J.A. Adolfo. Asamoah ESO lead Kotoko transfer plans. In the headlines, Kufuor Sam Jonah saved me from going blind. Harunata. Veteran journalist and former publisher of the Accra Daily Mail, Alhaji Haruna Atta, has recounted how former President John Agyekum Kufuor and renowned Ghanaian businessman Sir Sam John saved him from going blind. In a yet-to-be-released book, the former High Commissioner to Namibia thanked former President Kufuor for paying his initial eye surgery in Egypt, which was caused by a tumor. He further lauds Sir Sam Jonah, who came to his rescue when his eyesight got worse after the surgery in Egypt. According to Alhaji Atta, through Sir John's help, he was able to secure funds needed for the expensive procedure in Austria. In the book titled Ahwenipa Nkasa, Standing with JDM, Alhaji Atta narrates that even though former President Kufuor has never wanted him to make public his help to him, it is the right time to say thank you to the two statesmen for saving his sight. The book, which will be launched on Friday 28th August, also criticizes the Akufo-Addo government, saying no politically engineered voters registered can save him and the new patriotic party from the defeat that awaits them at upcoming December elections. In the face of a Ghana 1 million lawsuit, founder and leader of Ghana Freedom Party, Ekuyadonko, remains unrepentant in her stance that former President Dramani Mahama is the papano. Ekuyadonko and Wuntumi Communications are the subjects of a defamation suit by one Mary Owusi, who argued that some comments by the GFP leader have dented the image of John Dramani Mahama. Mary Owusi in her suit prayed the court to impose a 1 Ghana million CD charge on the defendants and also order them to retract and apologize to the NDC flag bearer. Reacting to the suit in an interview with Onia FM, Ekuyadonko said that she is yet to be served with the writs of summons. In a fresh batch of allegations which failed to prove and therefore must be treated with a pinch of salt, Ekuyadonko said that Tracy Boakye and Miss Bill are not the only partners of John Dramani Mahama. She insisted, amid caution by the interviewer, that John Dramani Mahama is the man at the center of the fight between the two women. Ekuyadonko asserted during the 2016 campaign period, she met a number of women which she is convinced are partners of the NDC leader. Former president and founder of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has said that the Ahois are predicting the defeat of the NDC in the 2020 election and are seeking to damage his person. According to Jerry John Rawlings, the Ahois are cocksure that the NPP will not lose the 2020 election and therefore have decided to destroy him so that they can take over power in the NDC in 2020, hence publishing of a book which has a number of made-up stuff to destroy him. Rawlings, who made this known as in a tweet, alleged that the Ahois will push John Dramani Mahama and his running mate out of the NDC after they have lost the impending election so they can take over by fielding their candidate for the 2024 elections, which they are sure of an NDC victory. It could be remembered that the former president early this year in a meeting with some cadres mentioned that some elders in the NDC are sure of a defeat in 2020, are looking at things in 2024. If players in the aviation, immigration, and health sector firm up government decisions to reopen of the borders, hopefully by September 1st, as the president stated, any person who tests positive on arrival into Ghana and asked to self-quarantine may be required to wear a tracking device. The move is to afford the state the ability to ensure proper monitoring of such person to curtail any possibility of a surge in COVID-19 cases due to importation of cases. Minister of Communications Esla Owusu-Ekufo made this known in a statement on how the country wants to digitally track all travelers and ensure proper tracking of movements in and out of public places, which have been zones as hotspots, which include conferences, hotels, churches, restaurants, and pubs. See me as the honest, trusted president that I am, Akufo-Addo. President Nana Akufo-Addo has said the main message he wants to drive home to Ghanaians in the lead up to the December 7, 2020 election is that they should see him as an honest and trusted man who has delivered virtually all his promises. When you are a president, in my view, you are judged even more, not by what you have said, but what you have done. The president told Mariama Bawa on ATL's Atlantic Wave morning show in the Central Region, where he's currently touring. I'm hoping that what Ghanaians will understand by December is that in the case of this particular president and this particular leader, the gap between what he said and what he has done is narrow, is almost non-existent, the president noted. Sir John's final funeral is set for October 29th. The leader, as well as the rank and file of the governing New Patriotic Party, will pay their last respects to former General Secretary of the party, Kwadwo Owusu-Afriyie, on October 29th, 2020. The late Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission will be laid to rest in his hometown, Wono, in the Ashanti region. Sakura Wono in the Kwabre municipality is set to be the venue of the final funeral rites, according to a poster cited by kasapafmonline.com, where politicians, public servants, media personnel will gather to commiserate with the family of the late Sir John. The demise of the late politician happened on 1st July 2020 at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after a short illness. Today in history, sycophants have hijacked President Akufo-Addo, says Kennedy Japan. Barely 1 year into the tenure of Akufo-Addo's presidency, Member of Parliament for Asin Central Kennedy Agyapong alleged, amongst other things, that some selfish, undeserving people have taken over the governance. Speaking on Oman FM's Boiling Point program, Mr. Agyapong said President Akufo-Addo was repeating the mistakes of the erstwhile Mahama administration, which triggered Ghanaians to boot them out of government. He said because of the NDC's refusal to chastise the Ibrahim Mahama, brother of the former president, they ended up losing 2016 elections. Kennedy Agyapong insisted persons like Duke Oforiatta and Gabi Asare-Okyere have hijacked the president from everyone and are using their positions to engage in acts that could derail the party's fortunes and sink the president's image. In business, how former Carl Bank MD became the 5th largest shareholder of bank. Have you ever wondered how an individual with no banking blood in his veins could transform a fledgling bank in 10 years? Frank Braco Edu Jr., a native of Old Tafo, seems to have an innate instinct for what works and what does not work at a bank. Both his father, a Presbyterian disciplinarian, and mother were not finance people. Indeed, both started off as teachers. More than that, Frank had a surgical approach to running a business. Forged early in his career as a teaching assistant at Legon to becoming managing director at the age of 38. The long-serving managing director of Carl Bank until his retirement last year was one of the most outspoken voices in finance. I dare say that few men ever commanded such reverence and respect in an industry as Frank Edu did in Ghana's banking industry, and people listened when he spoke. That perhaps maybe because he has a rare mix of charisma and intelligence, but it is mostly because he has earned the right to be listened to, having positioned Carl Bank as one of the most powerful and successful indigenous Ghanaian banks. The Frank Edu story may have been told, but many of the statistics that back up the tale are not well known. So here is a brief summary. 30 years ago, on a sunny and bright morning in March 23rd, 23 people, including Frank Edu, walked into the offices of the then Continental Acceptances Limited as Pegasius House as senior analysts that saw the birth of Carl Bank. In international news, DNC 2020, Biden vows to end Trump's season of darkness. The former U.S. president said his rival has unleashed too much anger, too much fear, too much division. His impassioned speech was the capstone of a political career spanning nearly half a century. Mr. Biden, 77, heads into the general election campaign with a clear lead in option polls over Mr. Trump, 74. But with 75 days to go until the election, the Republican president has plenty of time to narrow the gap. Mr. Biden's live speech marked the grand finale of the 4-night Democratic Party conference, but there was no balloon drop, cheering throngs, or any of the other fanfare and razzmatazz of the typical American Party conference because of the coronavirus pandemic. Organizers opted instead for a virtual set piece of mostly pre-recorded speeches crunched into 2 hours of highly produced programming each evening. In sports, Asamoah Gyan, ESO lead Kotoko transfer plans. Kumasi Asante Kotoko have identified legendary striker Asamoah Gyan as one of 8 players needed to enhance their CAF Champions League campaign this term. Kotoko, alongside Ash Gold, will represent Ghana in the Champions League and Confederation Cup, respectively. New CEO Nana Yao Amponsa has managed to convince Otumfuo Osei Tutu to lift an earlier imposed ban on player transfer, and thus Kotoko are now allowed to sign players. Maxwell Konedu, the head coach of the team, has submitted a list of 8 players whose presence will boost Kotoko's chances. Leading the list is Asamoah Gyan, who has been unattached since leaving Indian inside Northeast United. Ash Godio, Shafiu Mumuni, and Anabila are also on the list. Combative Kerala United midfielder Emmanuel Checheke, ex-Hearts forward Joseph Eso, and Matthew Enim Kujo have been targeted by Kotoko. Already negotiations are ongoing for Midima's Justice Blay, who spent the first half of the scraped GPL season with Kotoko. They are also looking to sign one foreigner whose identity is yet to be confirmed. In entertainment, Yams and Plantain were accepted as gate fee for concerts. J.A. Adofo. Veteran high life musician Jackson Alfred Adofo, popularly known as showbiz as J.A. Adofo, has revealed that Yams and Plantain were accepted as payment for gate fee to watch their performances as concerts. The veteran musician made the disclosure to Angel FM's mid-morning host Ohima Oyeje in an exclusive interview as they discussed J.A. Adofo's life journey in the music industry. At certain places, we accepted a single plantain or a tuber of yam from people, and they are allowed to go and watch our concerts. The man popularly known as the Black Chinese told Ohima Oyeje. He explained that concerts were strategically organized on market days so that the tubers of yam and bunch of plantain could be sold as a means to recoup their monies. The legendary high life artist added that the amount charged per person for a concert in his time was sempwa, which is 3 pesos in today's Ghana's currency, or teku. He posted that monies gained from recorded songs were used to pay for instruments that they used because they couldn't afford to buy the instruments in bulk, noting that concerts were major revenues for them. And this ends Radio Guide Online News at 6. My name is Adelaide Obobisa.